dirty commie. All right, guys, I'm gonna do this video here on Minuteman mentality and kind of what that means, what it means to me, means to you most likely, things like that. It's having your stuff ready to go, whatever it may be, and for whatever situation, from a home break-in to Red Dawn, whatever the situation is, have your stuff ready to go. That's why it's Minuteman, because those guys were ready within a minute. You know, I mean, they were ready to go at the moment's notice, and that's the way we should be too. And if you aren't, you need to get that way. But that what means to me though is that when it comes to that Minuteman mentality, comes to your firearms. Whatever you choose to be your firearm, whether it's AR, AK, 308, whatever it is, whatever you choose, it must be ready to go at a moment's notice. That means your optics sighted in, everything, your optics ready to go, sighted in, your batteries charged up, your rifle set up where you're gonna leave it at. You know, when you take it out, you mess with it, figure out where the best place for stuff is gonna go for you, what's gonna work best for you, and get it ready to go. Your iron sights dialed in, zeroed in, your optics zeroed, magazines filled, everything ready to go. Your gun clean, things like that. Have it ready to go. All the switches, like the tape switches here for this, if you're going to use one of those, have it in the place you're going to leave it at. That way, like when you, in a moment's notice, you pull this out, it's ready. So get it all set up the way you're going to run it. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. Just have it set up. Simplicity is always best for me. The less I have to think about, the less I have to worry about, works best for me. Magazines. Have good ones. Have a lot of them. A shit ton of them. Get as many as you can, because restrictions, they're going to come, you know, they're going to come. And they're going to like limit the magazine capacity. That's going to be another step they're going to take. That's going to be try to be for everybody. So get a bunch of them. I mean, I recommend getting 50 of them at the minimum. But get good magazines. Don't get just a bunch of crap to have them. Get ones that work, been known to work, like these Magpuls, Gen 2s, Gen 3s, they work good. I also recommend getting the metal magazines, aluminum or steel magazines as well, because those things are just, some of them are just tank tough. And I've got a lot of those too. Duramags work real good. I got some Colts as well. And I got a few others. I don't know what they are, but they're, I can't think of the name of them, but they're really good. So have a lot of them, and have a lot of them topped off. You know, don't just let them sit there. Have them ready to go. So, like I said, optics. Figure out what optic is best for you, what's going to work for you, what your application is, CQB, distance, a combo of the both. If you want a red dot or an etched reticle, I prefer the etched reticle, like this Primary Arms. This is a 3-power micro prism. The Cyclops 1 power is really good. Any of the Primary Arms stuff is really good. Our etched reticle, guys, that means if there's an EMP or your electronics fail, battery dies, you have a reticle still in your optic that you can see and that you're ready to go. So you can always use it, always use it. So that's why I prefer the etched reticles and the ACSS reticle. It's the best reticle on the planet. Got several different types and incarnations of them for different uses and applications. And just figure out which one is best for you. And it doesn't matter, whatever scope that you want to use or optic that you want to use, whatever works for you, but have it dialed in and accurized and zeroed in, ready to go. All that. So also, ammo stockpiling. Stockpile as much as you can, man. What you can afford. Personally, I recommend 5,000 rounds if you're gonna of rifle ammunition. at a bare minimum. That should be your like stash point that you don't touch. Anything above that, you know, you may go shoot and things like that, because you've got to go out and practice and train and use your stuff, you know. But 5,000 rounds, guys, I mean, that's a minimum to me that you need to have. And just on hand that you need. Pistol ammunition, several thousand rounds, you know, and I'd recommend another 5,000 as well. I know it ain't cheap, but right now prices are as low as they're probably gonna get, close to it. And now is the time to stockpile and buy, even if you just buy a box at a time. Just buy what you can, when you can, and all that, because sure as shit, something's gonna happen. There's gonna be a big push for banning and restrictions and another major mass shooting, or something's gonna happen where there's gonna be another scarce again. And I know all of us have probably been there a time or two when that's happened. You're like, man, I just don't have enough stuff, and the run on everything is out. So, you know, and it becomes like this last time. And prices are just now getting back down to a reasonable amount. They're still a little bit higher than they were, but stockpile as much as you can while you can.
Survivor Metal Man is proud to be sponsored by AT Armor. AT Armor is a go-to source of outstanding high-quality armor and gear. Be sure to check the links below.
Chest rigs, rucksacks, body armor, all that. Have some type of rig to use. That way you're able to easily access extra mags, stuff that you may need, lights, IFAK, comms, knife, whatever you need. Keep it lightweight though, so you can move quickly. Body armor will weigh you down, and it's, you know, I recommend using it at your own discretion, depending on the situation, whether you want to use it or not. I personally want to keep lightweight so I can move as quick as possible. I'm getting older, so it's harder for me to like run, you know, as fast as I did when I was like 25, even 30, teenager, all that stuff. So I want to keep as lightweight as possible. Armor, I will use it when I need to and if the situation calls for it. But whatever you use, whatever you choose, have it ready to go. Have your rucksacks loaded down for long term, because you may be living out of it for days, weeks, maybe even months at a time, depending on what the situation is. Clothing, have it heavy duty. Whatever you're going to wear, clothing like, you know, these combat shirts, or a, you know, ACU of some type uniform, pants, even if it's just tactical type pants, or anything that you will wear. Just make sure it's heavy duty, because you may be in it for a while. You don't want something that's going to rip, fall apart, things like that, when the shit goes down and you really need your clothing to work for you. It's got to be comfortable as well too. You don't want to be all uncomfortable. You want to not have to think about too much stuff except what's going on at the moment, at the time of hand. You know, each of these items you got to customize yourself for whatever mags you're going to use, whatever, you know, IFAK and pistol mags and whatever that you may be needing for yourself. You know, in your ruck, you know, you're going to pretty much, a lot of this stuff is universal, because you're going to, you know, mags, lights, IFAKs, stuff like that, but customize them out, whatever you think you're going to need, but get it ready to go at a moment's notice. You know, in your ruck, you know, need to put shelter in there, some food, things like that too. A tarp, you know, in your that way you can, you know, or a poncho or something like that. That way you can have it in your rucksack, and that way you can have some type of shelter if you need to have it. You can put it on or put it up real quickly. Parts, also parts for your rifle. whatever rifle you're using, extra parts, bolt carriers, bolts, rings, gas rings, springs, whatever you need, have extra of those. That way you can have, you know, if it breaks down, because stuff happens, shit happens. Your stuff will break. And sometimes it's going to break at the most inopportune times. And that way, you know, you can fix it, repair it, gas rings, things like that in your bolt and bolt carrier group. A lot of times, people will put an extra bolt in like one of these mags that'll hold it in there. That way you can pop it out, put another one in, you're back at it. So to get you back in the fight as quick as possible. So all that kind of stuff. So have extra parts for things that you may need in the future. All right, and lastly, guys, you got all this stuff. You know, a lot of people got stuff. They got stuff. They got the firearm of their choice, their gear of their choice, and they're all cool and stuff, but it sits in the corner collecting dust. Get out and train with your gear. Wear it, train with it, even if you're just getting out in the woods, walking around, property patrolling, things like that. Get in your gear. You go to the, there's all kinds of places also that offer training as well. You know, One Shepherd, the S&S Training Solutions. I love to go to some of those places myself. I'm in a different state, so I'd have to travel and take off from work and all that stuff, but it's worth it, you know, so I may be doing something like that in the future. Hopefully. There's also some places around here too. But also, when you go to the training on your, like say you go out and shoot for yourself on your own property, things like that, like how I do. I try not to like just square range it. I try to move around. I try to do things and set up from different, you know, targets and things like that differently. So to keep myself moving and on the go, because like I said, you want to keep moving. You want to be as lightweight as possible. But you know, just having a rifle and some ammo and your gear and things like that full of stuff is not going to get you by. You got to use the stuff. Like I said, have it all set up, everything set up where you're ready to go. Shit's crazy right now, you know. Shit's getting crazy. I think it's going to get worse. I'm not trying to be a fear monger or anything, but we see how things are going. And we see how things are going in this world right now. And our own government, I mean, they're freely helping everybody else, but our own people, it's designed this way. It's on purpose. This is on purpose. And you can't see it any other way than that. But get out, use your gear, get it dirty, clean it when it gets dirty, but you get out and use it. Don't just sit it in a corner. Don't just let it collect dust and think, I got it. No, you got to go out and use this stuff. Go out, practice with it, wear it, get it adjusted how you want everything, whether it be this, your straps on your gear, everything, put it all together, wear it all together, how you're going to be, you know, if a situation goes down and you have to wear it all, you need to have it all set up. That way it's going to be put on pretty quickly. Minuteman mentality. Having everything that you are going to use set up and ready to go. And that's what this whole video is about. And I'm just, you know, there's a lot of other stuff I could have covered. I'm not trying to make this a half-hour video, although it's probably going to be long because I like to ramble. But have your stuff ready to go. Because when something happens, a lot of times it happens quickly and a lot of times without notice. It just happens. So have your stuff ready to go. Have stuff in your vehicle, you know, ready to go. Like if you're at work, something happens, say an EMP happens. What are you going to do? Can't drive home, but you got stuff in your vehicle, you know. Maybe you want to do a little gray man, maybe you don't. It doesn't really matter, but have some stuff in your vehicle, stashed away, locked up somehow, but you can get to it and walk your way home, because you may have to. So, but anyway, that's what I'm saying. Minuteman, be ready. Anytime. Get ready. Keep it heavy.